And we are live this morning from the Outer Rim. Welcome back to Rogue Actions, everybody. Cubs, how are you, man?
I'm so good, man. I gotta say, it put a big smile on my face to see the big night the Hall had, and that you even had a special Twilight guest all the way from Ryloth.
Yes.
That was amazing.
All the way from Ryloth, my beautiful bride, Miss Tron came on, and what a banger of a night, man. We celebrated 15K, and the Hall loved it. So thank you to everybody that came out for that wonderful night.
Congrats to the Hall, too. You and the Hall. You guys earned it.
Yeah, well, Cubs, I think we're ready for a big week. Let me just be the first to wish you happy road ahead week, Cubs.
Oh, man.
Because it better be coming, man.
If the road ahead doesn't come this week, then it's going to be pretty fun to watch the fallout. I think that there'll be some genuine rage. I think there's already rage, but they promised us May, right? And so, of course, it'll be the last week of May.
So, Cubs, you know, we're probably the people that the content creators around this game that have the largest communities that are pretty intertwined. Us, Heinze, Grid, Escape Podcast, like those guys, we all kind of share the same community. And I've had 15, and then there was about 4 or 5 more people on Twitter that said they are going to walk from this game if this road ahead does not announce something big. Do you believe that? Do you think that there is any bluffing there? Do you think that people are just too ingrained in this game to walk from it? Or is this really the proverbial line in the sand here for a lot of people with no new content in 6 months?
You know, it's a really good question. And I think that's a question that if I was Capital Games, I'd be pretty intimidated by. Because I absolutely believe that some people are being 100% serious about that. And that they actually will walk away. Sure, some people are probably bluffing, and some people will probably give it a chance, but I do think part of the reason, I think I've said this on Rogue Actions already, but I honestly think part of the reasons why this road ahead has taken a while is because CG knows that people are literally deciding if they're going to stick with the game or not based on this road ahead.
100%, man. And I, you know, good guy in my community, he's gonna walk if this is underwhelming. A lot of people have already walked. So I'm just hopeful that they take it seriously and they actually say something big to keep people engaged. So I can't see your screen, so I'm just going to wing it here and just say that, guys, you know the drill here. We've got 3 topics on my channel, 3 topics over on Cubs' channel. If you want the whole video, you got to go like and subscribe to both. Here we go, guys. And the first topic, we're going to stay right on the road ahead here.
Yep.
And it has been 6 months. Can you believe this? 6 months since the last road ahead. So basically we're getting sparse communication and no support from the studio.
Yeah.
And no test accounts, no sandbox mode, 0 communication. And basically it's just content creators keeping the game alive at this point. 4 characters this year. What was it? Poe. I guess you can count Galactic Legend in there. So Poe, Rey, and Kylo, and then the 3 Mandalorian characters. What are we thinking for the road ahead? I mean, we talked about people walking, but what are you thinking is coming? If your honest guess, what is your honest guess?
It's hard. I don't know. I think they've laid a lot of clues. And I made a whole video on this. I don't know if you saw it, but over the last, it was SWGOH or SIG put together
I watched them both. Yep.
Put together a big breakdown on everything CG said, and it sounds exciting. We don't know exactly what it's going to be, but to me, I've said this, I'm like a broken record, but I'll say it again. This game needs a couple things right now. It needs replayable content. It needs content that everybody can access. It needs content that allows us to use our whole rosters, and content that doesn't get old really fast. And so to me, that's not vehicles. That is not a new raid, honestly. And I know a lot of people were miffed about not having a new raid. And I'm miffed because I know that I would like a raid, but I'm partially optimistic because I feel like they can do better than a raid. And based on what their promises have been over the last 6-7 months in road aheads, I think that they're talking in the language I want them to talk in. Now I just want to see it. You know, I'm tired of them they've called out to me everything the game needs in those road aheads. They've called it out. So they seem to be aware, which is great. Now, is what their definition of delivering on that going to match mine and yours? That's the big determiner here, and I guess we're just going to have to wait and see hopefully this week.
It's just gotten to a point where they've put themselves in such a bad situation. Like everything they do has been microanalyzed to the point where like this has to be a big thing now. Like
Yeah.
the content creators are sitting here going, well, if it was not, if it was underwhelming, they would have announced it 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, a month ago. So now it's to the point where there's hype behind it and there's buildup and there's drama here. And then there's things like MSF, you know, with their live PvP, DSA with live PvP. It's like these guys are pushing it forward.
Yep.
I log into MSF today, Cubs, and I literally have 10 things in my inbox of things going on in the game.
There's almost too much to do in that game.
Right.
It's like the opposite problem. It's amazing to me that this game has this problem. It's a $1 billion game. You know, Urza, you know what's pathetic?
What's that?
For the first time ever since I went full-time YouTube, I had a night where I sat down at my computer to film a video, and I just had absolutely nothing to film a Galaxy of Heroes video on. Nothing. Period. Yeah. To the point where the next day I just did not post a Galaxy Heroes video.
That is
first time I've done it. And for my standard ever since I went full-time, Monday through Friday, video every morning at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, didn't have one. I sat there for an hour trying to come up with something, and I couldn't. I actually thought about making a stupid top 10 list of the top 10 buttons in the game just to give a middle finger to CG that this is what I'm talking about today. But
yeah, man, and I think it speaks volumes. So our friend Mobile Gamer, he's streaming like an animal over on Twitch. He's just as happy it can be over on Twitch.
Yeah, it's good to see.
And you watch him sit down and he does like his pack review with MSF. And then he just finds things to do. He does the raid, he does blitz, he does all sorts of things. And this guy fills 3 hours worth of content every day, pretty much every day, doing MSF. And it's like you would try and do that with SWGOH, and you'd be really stretching out like Galactic War. You do your arena battles, but it's just, dude, it's so tired. Everything is so tired.
I did this. So I did this on my Twitch stream recently. We went in the game. It was a day that we had assault battles even and Omega battles, and I went in and did everything I could possibly do. Got all of my dailies, spent all my energy, did everything that I could do. It took me, including doing every phase of the assault battle and doing all of the Omega battles. I did Semi-Galactic War, but all of that content took me 19 minutes to get through.
Embarrassing.
19
Capital
minutes.
Games. Your game is in a very fragile state right now, guys. I'm very it's just, I mean, I wish you guys, if you guys lost the license or if there's some sort of licensing issue, I wish someone would just speak up and tell us, because it's really just disheartening to watch Battlefront get folded. And this game seems like it's just like the tank is on empty, and it's just like, we're just going to let this thing sail off into the Twin Suns here and just be done.
It's one of two things. To me, this is a or B scenario now. Either A, they have been working on something very big that they've laid these eggs, these little Easter eggs for in their Q&As for the last 7 months. And the reason why there's nothing is because they've been so preoccupied with this thing that's just going to blow us all away and revitalize this game. I hope to God that that's what this is. It could be that. It's either that or they literally do not give a flying about this game, and it's going to hell. It's going to die. To me, it's either one of those two things. It can't be anything in the middle right now.
I remember Rogue Actions probably like 3 or 4 months ago. It was like, well, when's the Roadhead coming? First week of May, you told me. Here we are, May 17th, and it is just, it's comedy.
Do you remember that Rogue Actions too? I think I asked you the question, how pissed are you going to be if we have to wait until May for this road ahead?
Yeah, that was like back in March.
It's May 17th.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it's May 18th when we post this.
Okay. I think we can expect the road ahead this week. And community, get your pitchfork, because It is. If we don't get a road ahead this week, I'm going to be furious.
Here's my pitchforks to CG if we don't have a road ahead right here. I'm flipping the camera off. You can't see me right now, but these are my pitchforks if it doesn't come this week. So hopefully it does.
All right. Let's turn the page here. A provocative thing that came across my Queen of the Hall, Becca, pointed out something to me, and I thought it was pretty interesting.
Okay.
So remember relic abilities? Remember we saw that screenshot of Treya going to like relic 7 or something?
Yeah.
And then she got a new ability.
Yeah, it was like, it says placeholder. I've got it on the screen.
Placeholder. Yeah. So there was a placeholder, and everybody was speculating. And this was like when they first announced relics, and I was like, well, I've always advocated that like I would be super into relics if they did more. Now I ended up liking relics in the long term because they made bad characters viable, and that's always been the shtick of my channel.
I agree with that sentiment.
Yeah, and I thought it was an interesting way to spice up old kits and do fun things, and like they never delivered on that promise. And a point was made to me was, well, the reason why they never delivered on that was because that became Galactic Legend Ultimate abilities. And I thought for a second, I was like,
okay,
they never got called on that, and that's exactly what it pretty much looks like.
Interesting.
So, isn't that very weird to think that like they were that was promised, and it became that new Galactic Legend currency and like the whole bit there. Isn't that wild to think about that they never followed through, and here we are with Galactic Legends with these unlockable abilities once they reach their maximum thing or whatever.
And imagine if a character like Treya, if you could like maybe you can't go. So right now, you and me, we're not going for Galactic Legends because screw Galactic Legends.
Yeah.
Imagine if we could alternatively go for Treya's ultimate ability.
How cool would that be?
That would be so dope. I would love that.
Right?
Depending on the cost and all of that. I mean, how monetized would they make it? I would love to have something like that to work towards. And especially if it's not every character. Like, say they just take raid characters, iconic characters, legendary characters, and okay, now they got ultimate abilities, but it definitely looks to me like they're making this ultimate ability thing Galactic Legend exclusive.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate, right? That just shows you like
so the two people that have it can enjoy it.
Yeah, right. And it was probably like in the works, and they're like, well, why are we doing that here?
Yeah.
Let's just do it for 2 characters and call it a day. Put a whole currency around it and the whole bit. Like, I don't know. It's very frustrating to think that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no better feeling in this game than when an old character gets some new shine. It's just the best feeling in the world. Old Ben, like a lot
when was
of
the
these
last
guys,
time we had that feeling?
right? And it's just like, how great would it feel to dust off your Treya, and maybe it only unlocks at Relic 7. I'm all right with that.
Yeah,
I'm all right with that. It's still incentive to relic a character, and maybe there's just like for them, it's like, well, if we start making new abilities and something breaks, then we're gonna have to deal with that later. And maybe that's why they're gun shy on doing that whole thing. I don't know. To me, it's just really like, these are not hard things, I don't think. And
they're worried about bringing in abilities like that because it might counter Galactic Legends, and they'll have to nerf them because they've set that precedent, right?
Or don't make the abilities just broken as hell. Just make them so they just spice it up a little bit. I don't know.
Or maybe test them. Test them out.
Yeah, right. Well, we know they don't do that. So
test the most logical test against Galactic Legends. Like, I don't know. Test out gas against Galactic Legends.
Yeah. Well, that's asking a lot, Cubs. All right. Okay. Now we're going to take this on a dark path right here, right now. Topic 3 here.
All right. Let's go.
This question comes in from my guy Scotty. He said, "What would you do if SWGOH ended tomorrow?" Now, that is a hell of a noodle to throw out there, right?
Yeah. So who's going first?
I'll let you go first.
Damn it. Okay, so to me, there's a split reaction here. There's the business reaction because this is my full-time job, right? And then there's the player community guy part of me. So
you got to go business first because we know business trumps the player.
From a business perspective, I think I would be excited.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why is as much as I love Galaxy of Heroes and I love covering this game, I do feel like I've hit a wall on this game when it comes to how far my reach can get. DSA is a game that I feel like has a lot of potential. And so part of me wonders what would happen if I just wasn't covering Galaxy of Heroes. That's a very, very blunt answer for you guys here in the hall. I want to be very clear that has no indication that I want to stop covering Galaxy of Heroes, because I actually want to cover this game until the day I die, until the day it dies, and as long as humanly possible. But if it were to go away, there's a part of me that would think, all right, I'm intrigued.
New beginnings.
I'm intrigued of what happens without this, if that makes sense.
So here's the thing, right? So for me, I missed the big upswing on this game. I think, I just hit 15,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
I missed the big content creator upswing because, it just, for personal reasons, I wasn't able to participate. So I missed that big chance to really grow my channel with this game.
You and me, so I got it better than you did. But
you were in a year before me.
I was a year after the game too, so I think both of us feel the effect of that to some point. You more so than me, because you're a year after me. But anyway, go on.
Yeah. So I think there's always excitement with a new beginning like that, especially if it was a new Star Wars game, because we would both be on that in a second. So you missed that big upswing, but you get the opportunity to hopefully find something new and catch that big upswing to grow your channel. And you see, I want to say Arnold and Mobile Gamer, those guys, obviously they're from the beginning with this game. And, Arnold about hit 150K. Mobile Gamer, he went from 50 when I first started watching Mobile Gamer to over 100,000. So they both hit that swing perfectly. So there's the business side of it. The player side of it is, it's where would everybody go? If this game folded tomorrow, you'd have all these people flood into DSA, Dragon Champions, MSF, Raid Shadow Legends. This whole mobile community of hero collector games they would all trickle into that stuff.
Yeah, I think that we would need to fill that void somewhere. I think some people would, fade off into the Tatooine sunset and bury their lightsabers and call it a day. But I think, and become Skywalkers. But I think a lot of people would definitely need to find something else. And Urza, I think this question, I actually really appreciate this question because it kind of reminds me of what's important to me and where my heart is at. Because the business side of me is intrigued by this scenario, because I just really wonder what would happen. There's this curious side of me, but the player in me would be absolutely, utterly devastated.
We would be, I think all of us have devoted years to this game.
The reason why we're here, people get on us about being too negative, blah, blah, blah. But why are you still here? Well, let me tell you why we're still here. Because we love this game profoundly. We want this game to be better, and Star Wars. Yep. And I can't imagine not having it. And so, the player in me would be depressed. The businessman in me might be excited in some regard, but the player in me would be absolutely devastated.
Cubs, here's your mic drop statement right here.
All right.
I have logged into this game every day since January 26, 2016. Every single day. I've been around the world 3 times. Every single day, I have found the time and the motivation to log into this game. I've never missed one day.
So me too. Only since December 2015 for me, a very early December. And the only day there were days that I didn't log in. There were, I think, 3 or 4 days total that I did not personally log in because I was on a cruise ship and I had zero way of logging in. But I had somebody babysitting my account during those days, so my account still got logged into.
Well, there you go. I mean, it's basically the same thing.
So I'm counting it. I'm chalking it up, all right? Yeah, that's a mic drop. That's a mic drop.
That speaks volumes, dude. I just can't. I've never treated any other game like this game.
And you know what? What's sad to me, and I really hope that I'm wrong, and I hope this road ahead kind of circling back, bringing this full circle. I really hope this road ahead proves this wrong. But unfortunately, what it really feels like the longer I play this game is that we have a dev studio that takes advantage of that level of commitment to their game, where they do not feel like they owe it to us to make their game better because they just feel like we're here no matter what. And because that kind of is the case for some of us. And it's really depressing. It's really depressing that that's their attitude, and I hope that the Roadhead proves us wrong.
So let's hope for a big road ahead this week, guys. We've got 3 more topics over on Cubs' channel. Guys, we will see you right over there. I'm issuing the evacuation code signal. Good day from the Outer Rim, y'all.
See y'all.